everyone. This is Kai from 5D Coaching. I welcome you for this interview, and this time it's in English. So, my guest is Christian today, and he's very fluent in English. He's from Moldavia, and he's also fluent as an Ironman, half Ironman triathlete who has just finished last week the Ironman of Poznan. And Christian has sent me an amazing feedback. I was really astonished and really amazed by his words. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. And ask him to share this with you. So he was willing to share his story of the race to a bigger audience, and that's why we are here. So, Christian, before you tell us all about your amazing story, can you introduce yourself? What do we have to know about you?
Sure. Thank you, Kai, for having me. So I'm 27 years old. I work as a consultant for EY in Zurich. I've been in Switzerland for 4 years now, and I picked up triathlon a year ago when I bought my first bike in the summer, and I had zero background in swimming, so you can imagine this was a difficult start. Anyway, so I work full time, and triathlon is my passion for the past 1 year.
Okay. So, you are a young triathlete. 1 year ago you started, you just said, and since a year, this is your passion. And can you tell the audience how did we met? How did you get into yeah? How did we get to know each other?
Absolutely. So the journey started with me buying a new bike because the old one was not suitable for me. I believe that's led a bit to my injury and niggles in the knees. So I was really looking for a bike fit, and I was scrolling through pages, and then I saw your page, and then I immediately called, and I immediately got a good feeling from the conversation we had over the phone that you are the right guy to do the bike fit. And once we started the bike fit, and then during that, for me it was a complete experience in terms of the measurements, the technical side, but also the feeling, because like you said, it's an art, right? But the thing that caught my attention when we were doing the bike fit back in April this year was that I was obsessed with the training volume and training hours, and we were discussing about Ironman training. But then you told me something that clicked, and that was, it's not about training volume, it's about recovery. That's the key. And then that resonated immediately with me, and then that's how we got into VGT, more or less, I would say.
Yes, and that's why we are actually here today and have this interview. You had such an amazing experience last weekend that also resulted in the vegetative training that you learned during this year in a couple of sessions, and that you really did very regularly, very focused. And I want you to tell us, what have you experienced on your journey, and what have you experienced in your race last weekend?
Sure. So initially we had the 3 sessions to set myself up to be autonomous and to learn vegetative training, how to do it on my own. So this was the foundation, I believe, back in April. Since then, I've been doing, let's say, religiously almost 2, 3, 4 times a week. And then I just experienced how my body recovered from the trainings, how it adjusted completely, and that ultimately resulted in the race in Poznan, the Half-Ironman last Sunday. Which was for me a personal best, 4 hours 51 minutes. But essentially behind that was the training volume of between 10 to 15 hours on a weekly basis since back in April that allowed me together with VGT to obtain this time. So I would say what I felt is more getting in sync with my own body. Because I'm self-coached, I had no pressure to do whatever trainings I was being pushed on, right? So I really went with the body. If I felt 1 week I need to do only swimming, that's what I did. I did 10,000 meters swimming. If I felt I need to do a light bike or a very hard bike, then that's exactly what I did. So VGT got me into listening to my body, and then really listening to the needs that it has, and then just adapting to my body, basically.
Great. So let me resume this. So you're self-coached. You did the VGT how many times a week? Like
I would
three,
say
four?
on an average 3 times a week for maintenance, but 2 weeks before the race, I would do it 4 to 5 times a week.
Okay. So whenever you did this, you got more in tune with your body and you could listen to it very well, and you were kind of taking this input from your body and yeah, made the training for yourself, right?
Right.
So what a great coach. So you listen to your inner coach. Let us get this message out to the people. And secondly, probably you had a very good experience in the recovery.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about this? How was your body responding with the VGT on the inputs you gave it with your training?
Absolutely. So I can connect that with the fact that during the VGT session, after doing the breathing exercises, I always tell my body that I'm grateful for its function. I always tell my body when the race is and that I would like it to be in peak condition or optimum performance level at that date. And then I let it shake and I let it bring. So I have these visuals or visualizations in my head how the race would feel in the swim, in the bike, and in the run. And then I would let that repeat until in the race day I can just dial back into those visualizations. But in terms of recovery, very concretely, right? So if I have a very hard bike session one day and then I do VGT, the next day I can still run or swim. When otherwise it would have taken me 2-3 days to just absorb that session. So much quicker turnaround in terms of recovery. And that resulted for me, especially because I was doing always at night before sleep or sometimes at lunchtime, in a increased sleep quality. So I can track it with my watch, with my Garmin. I can see exactly how many hours I spent in deep sleep or REM or light sleep. And VGT always helped me to lower my heart rate and sleep better. So that boosted recovery.
Great. Great to hear that. And let me tell the audience that you have been, when you came here and to learn the VGT, you have been very vigorously working and very focused, and you did it very, yeah, you did it very well, and your body was reacting very well. And later on, we had a deepening session, right, where we added some techniques, so to get you into this mental state and to command your body to do things in the vegetative state that you requested your body to do. So that was a thing you normally do not learn in the first 3 sessions, but yeah, you were eager to find out, right? You were very passionate and you were seeing some good effects at the beginning. So if someone has never heard of VGT, vegetative training, and has no clue how this feels like, how this looks like, can you tell your experience that you have done, that you have made, so someone has better picture?
So I would say, in summary, what vegetative training is essentially it's giving a dedicated space and time to your body to move freely in order to adjust and recover any potential blockages in the body, physical, energetic, spiritual. That was my feeling, because normally we're always, let's say, in control of the body and we're pushing the body with the mind. But this space of vegetative training is allowing the body to manifest or to shake itself, and completely letting go of any control of it for the moment, in order for it to begin this regeneration process, recovery process. So, and also, let's say, strengthening the internal communication with the body itself. So that's how I would interpret it or define it.
And how does it feel? Simply, how does
Uh,
it feel when you're in this vegetative state?
it feels very liberating. It feels, and that was one of my main drivers, which you also activated in me, was the state of flow. The state of flow, the state of being in the zone, unshakable, and just tunnel vision and being completely present. So vegetative training feels to me extremely present. It empties my mind. It helps me to cool down and relax, and just it helps me to activate these parts of the brain when I am just in the present, in the now, right? So we had this moment when I was staring at the ceiling on the third session, and this milk and honey concept in the mind, right? Just everything. There's a huge white blank, and then I'm just. It's just an explosion of positive feelings inside the mind. And then this allows you to, or allows me, especially in the race that I had, to transcend, meaning no more concept of time or space. I remember I was in the handlebars and just looking down and looking up, and then I was in a completely different space because it was going so fast, and I was just, let's say, absorbing the present. So I would say it feels liberating. To summarize, feels liberating. It feels uh, like nothing else can come in between. And it's just such a grounding, powerful experience that I would say is the main reason I started triathlon, because it gave me these glimpses of flow, and then vegetative helps prolong that. I mean, that would be my dream, to do a full Ironman completely in the zone, completely in the flow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So great. You experienced that, Christian, right? So last weekend you were in Half-Ironman,
Yeah.
Poznan, and you were experiencing this transcended state of the mind, and you were in the aero bars, and you were like looking down on the road, and you were like, what did you feel then? How does it feel flow for you? I mean, can you explain to someone who has never really felt this?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels so. It's a painless feeling, and the body just works itself, and you are a spectator. So the same way we are letting go of our bodies in VGT, the same thing body comes back when you ask him to come back, to take over. And I felt like just a spectator. Not that I was absent or somewhere in the blank. No, I felt that I was, let's say, no weather conditions could influence me at that time. Or I was just feeling all the pedaling. I was not looking at the watts. I was not looking at the average speed. The Garmin was anyway on the GPS mode. So none of the calculations internally to influence this. So very simply, I was just enjoying the experience, but more deeply than just, let's say, you watch a movie and then you feel every second that passes in you. It's it's something, yeah, and nobody can influence or withdraw you from that.
Wow, that is really a transcending state. I'm pretty much jealous on that because I never had this long moment in a race. I never had just glimpses, as you said. Um, Interestingly, that when you take it from the studio or from the lab situation and you train there, that you can take that to to the field and to really, really, really transcend. Um, in terms of I mean, you have done a lot of physical training. You have done a lot of decent hours of swimming, running, cycling, all what you have to do to become fit. You have done. How much of your success in the Ironman, in the half Ironman, would you declare, would you dedicate to the vegetative training? How
um,
much it
I
was
would say
that important?
I would say, just to complete the story and to also answer the question, Kai. So in VGT, if I can recover and put my body in a peak state, but also if I can visualize the race, then that means everything, right? Because in the visualization itself, the VGT visualization is take care of the tires, not to get a puncture, be able, so all the scenarios are running again and again through the mind to say, are you fully equipped, fully prepared for plan B? So for example, in the swim, I have a problem that when I swim with a lot of people, I get panic attacks easily. So I visualized this during VGT, and once I entered with the washing machine, as they call it, with the 500 people in the rolling start, and I did a swim warm up before, in the very few seconds, my body started to panic. And in my mind, and then the visualization from VGT came and said, okay, let's be calm. So usually I need to stop, take a breather, 1 or 2 minutes, but this time I just went for it because the visualization replaced the reality a little bit and it just allowed me to swim. During the bike, the same. If I switched on the mode with the milk and honey to transcend, and then the legs were just working. It was a point that I almost started crying a little bit, to be honest. I was weeping because it felt so good. And then in the run as well, as soon I just had it in the VGT visualization that I would run very fast and very smooth. As soon as I put my shoes on, I was just looking straight. People were collapsing left and right. Some were hard. There was traffic. I was going even not that fast, to be honest, not for the standards usually, but for myself it was fast.
Yes, let us wonderful
Yeah.
how you describe, but let us compare this. You did a half Ironman in Rapperswil this year, right?
Right.
Of course, it's a different venue, a different spot, but can you compare this in terms of times and power output, just to
Yeah, absolutely.
give the audience an idea?
And also VGT was behind Rappi, so very glad to see that. But comparing, and so in Rapperswil, I did the swim in around 39 minutes, and in Poznan I did it in 38. So that was on the swim. The biking, I was very conservative in Rapperswil due to the hilly and aggressive hills, right? So I took it very easy. So the bike was 2 hours and around 46 minutes, and in Poznan was 2 hours and 23. So that's an average speed from 31 to 38 almost. And then in the run, I did the half marathon on 1 hour 58 in Rapperswil, and then in 1 hour and 42 minutes in Poznan. So yeah, 16 minute almost improvement.
16 minutes, right?
Yeah, from 5
minutes
40 pace to 4 minutes 5:55.
So
in a span of 2.5 months.
Yes, that's incredible.
A 40 minute saving between
yes.
Rapperswil.
So. Of course, you did training in between, you did recovery in between, you did, lots of work, but that's a huge improvement. And I'm just wondering what is next for you? What are you going to do next? And what are your goals? Because now you see all this possibility, you see that improvement, you get a self-awareness or self-esteem that is boosted. So to stay on the ground, what do you plan for the future?
Right. So I would say it's all about next year. So Rapperswil may have, then Thun, full Ironman.
Are you planning a full Ironman? Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So June Rapperswil, July Thun, and then in August I enrolled for the European Championships in Estonia.
Okay.
For the half marathon, just to see what the field is like and the traveling and yeah.
Wow, great plans. So let's draw a picture away from the sport. You're a human being and you have your everyday life, you have your work and you have your relationships and you have your family and things like that. How would you say has your life changed, or has your perception of life changed since you're doing the vegetative training?
I would say an increase of awareness and focus that definitely I could feel, because vegetative training is a meditation. So you are, I would say, present in the moment, and that's for an extended period of time. So I have sessions between 30 minutes and 1 hour and 20 minutes. So if you are there in the zone, that immediately translates into, if I can sit in front of a computer for several hours, that's easy.
Okay.
But I would say as a human, as a person, it just made me more humble, made me less judgmental. because I've been judging left and right. Oh, this is not right, or this is not perfect, and it just made me realize there's much more to the story than what is seen, right? So it brought me a little bit this break to say, not so fast with the judging, not so fast with the ego, and not so fast with the expectations of myself and around myself. And that does not mean less ambition. It just made it a more healthy approach to the goals, in terms of there's a ritual behind that needs to be respected, beyond, let's say, what is seen, right? So planning, organization. So and with my family, I think it a little bit deepened as well my relationships, because I learned to treat a bit every moment a bit more precious, right? So I would emphasize meeting face to face with my friends, my girlfriend, or my family as much as possible, because I could get energy back from these interactions more than I did in the past. Because in the past it was maybe a video call quickly and let's get it done with it. And now I just value this element, because again, it grounds me. So that's what I've been seeing. But these are very subtle changes, and I would say it's over a span of a couple of months, solid months, and they are only possible, I would say, with repetition, right? So I believe, and that's what my body asked for: repetitive sessions every week, or when I would need to digest something from work, right? A topic where any was a complex problem, I could do a quick VGT session during lunch, reset, and then come back and get a new view, or get a new understanding, or be more calm. So these are a few ways, very subtle, that I would say it shifted a little bit within me.
So actually, the vegetative training is your inner coach in terms of planning your training, and in terms of giving you advice, and in terms of valuing things, or put value on the right things, the more important things. So it's like having your coach always with you. So I've never seen it like your inner coach. I've seen it like your inner physiotherapist, your inner chiropractic, your inner osteopath, whatever, whoever treats you. But it never occurred to me like your inner coach. So you gain wisdom from your sessions. You gain clarity, and you gain like a deeper state of mind, a more calmness, and pretty much what I've read from your story that you sent to me, pretty much more joy. So you were in tears because it was feeling so good, right? So for everyone, for someone who is looking for making contact with the inner coach, the vegetative training is one way to achieve that. It's something that puts you very quickly into that vegetative state, where the body takes up the control, and it cleans your body and your mind, so that your soul is really enjoying life and seeing it as a spectator. So I'm very, very grateful that you have done this work, and that you reap the rewards, and now that you share it with us. So thank you very, very much. And helping me to bring this work out into the world, to spread the word. And whoever is looking for something, for some experience like that, it may not be everyone's dream to to be in a flow all the time, but could be. So I'm very happy to support you on your journeys, and I'm very much looking forward to work with you on your journey, and to see what's possible next year.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And to add a note quickly, I was very skeptical, and I am a, let's say, logical or numbers guy. But I took a leap of faith, because into me it clicked what you said to me. And that worked well. Otherwise, if I would have stuck in my old box, I would have never done this. So just a note of, sometimes this intuition gets stronger with time, but you gotta try things out and then see how they feel. There's no experience before experiencing it itself. So definitely that's my recommendation.
So you had your doubts, and
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. And we had the scenario I told you. I was not believing that my body was working by itself. And then I had pain in my hips, and then it shaked, and then it turned my legs, and it showed me, look, now it's not hurting anymore. Live, right? So within a span of half an hour. So it was telling me, the body was communicating to me, pain and then no pain. What else do you want? Trust me. So I would say that's the underlying foundation. Trust the process, try new things, try vegetative training, and you never know what you activate within yourself. And I was thinking, right, if I would have not known about this technique my whole life, it would have been such a waste, right?
Oh, I wouldn't say that, but you would come across something like that later on, or maybe someone else. So for me, that's important. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with this scenario, with this room or something. This is inside you, and you just have to uncover it and to explore it for yourself, to make it work for yourself. And I'm very grateful because you are one of the person that made me expand my bike fitting work to a new level. So I called my normal bike fitting 4D, which is already a level higher than than 3D. This service I call bike fitting 5D now, which I combine the bike fitting, the measuring and the setting up of the bike and all this technical stuff with the vegetative training. So whoever wants to experience this combined with the bike fitting, book a bike fitting 5D session, and we do a vegetative training beforehand so that your body is aligned. After 5 years of working with this technique, I can get people in a vegetative state like in 15 to 20 minutes who have never done this, and they're shaking and the body is readjusting. So I'm pretty confident, and it's a good, as you experience it, a good first experience, a first dip into that how to say, in this scenario. And then you were kind of hooked and you wanted to know more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you once again, and I'm very much happy that we can share this and spread this. Thank you for being so kind and so open.
Anytime, and I believe many people will find this helpful, and that's what I think the beauty is, if something works, to let others know as well, because there's a lot of potential help there that it can deliver. And no selfishness, no nothing. It's about, if we can help each other, why not?
Yeah,
I would love to compete with other fellow VGT and then transcend more,
Maybe once there will be a triathlon VGT only group or something like that. So it's an own age group. Okay, thank you very much, Christian. Was my pleasure, and looking forward to meeting you soon again.
Yep, loved it. Loved it.
Thank you. And to all of you, I hope you enjoy this interview with Christian. And if you have a question, if you have a comment, just let me know. I'm happy to answer this. For now, I wish you all the best and you come back stronger.